Both the prosecution and defense have rested their cases in Sean Diddy Combs' federal sex trafficking and racketeering trial. Closing arguments now set for tomorrow. Yesterday, Combs stood up in court and addressed the judge. The hip-hop mogul confirmed he would not be taking the stand. The defense decided to call no witnesses as well. Over the course of 6 weeks, the prosecution called 34 people to the stand, and Combs has pleaded not guilty to all charges. CBS News legal reporter Katrina Kaufman has been there for all of it and joins us now with your take. Good morning to you, Katrina. Welcome back.
Thank you. Good morning.
This is now week 7, and I'm curious about that exchange between Combs and the judge. I mean, you've been in the courtroom, in the overflow, in the courthouse. What did that feel like in the room?
Yeah, well, Combs has seemed in very good spirits in general, but when he got up, the judge asked him how he was feeling, and he said he was doing great. And then he told the judge that he thought the judge has been doing an excellent job. So he complimented him. And then the judge made sure he had a clear mind and asked if he wanted to testify. He said he's decided not to testify in this case. It was something that he said he discussed thoroughly with his attorneys, but made that decision on his own. And he also seemed to be in really good spirits after court, after both sides had rested their cases, Errol. He was chatting with a friend and generally just looks like he feels very confident in that courtroom. And
you've been saying to me before we came up that he's been very engaged during the trial, taking notes, looking around. Really interesting considering how heavy the testimony has been. The defense decided not to call up any witnesses and had a very brief moment on the stand. What do you make of that? Why is that?
Well, the defense's case lasted about 20 minutes, Errol.
20 minutes.
Super brief. I mean, the burden here is all on the prosecution. So really, the defense doesn't have to put on any case. And in a lot of ways, they've put on their case through their cross-examinations. They have had some very powerful cross-examinations of witnesses. This last witness who was on the stand, it honestly was an epic cross-examination, went much longer than any of us thought. So in a lot of ways, that's how they've been making their case. They did read in some additional evidence, a number of text messages between Sean Combs and Cassie Ventura, his ex-girlfriend, who was the first witness in this case. So also sort of a reminder for the jury about who she was. They were reading these loving exchanges between the two of them. She is at the heart of one of these sex trafficking charges against Sean Combs. So it's important that they try to create this impression for the jury of the dynamics in that relationship and how loving they really were in a lot of ways.
And so how will this week 7 end? What's the next step?
Yeah, well, so today there's what's called a charging conference.
Okay.
That's when the parties without the jury get together with the judge and they'll decide how the judge is going to instruct the jury on how to apply the law to the facts of this case. Then Thursday and Friday will be closing arguments. It sounds like there'll be about 4 or 5 hours per side, Errol. And then the judge will instruct the jury and they begin deliberating. Although yesterday the prosecution made it sound like deliberation may not start until Monday, but we should have a verdict in this case in the near future.
And we're out of time, but this doesn't seem like a slam dunk for the prosecution.
You know, I have to say, having been in that courtroom, I feel like this could go a lot of ways. It will depend on jury perception in so many respects. This is a complicated case, complicated evidence, complicated relationships.
All right, well, you've had solid reporting, Katrina. We'll be sure to keep connecting with you as this all wraps up. Thanks so much.